All right, the Miami Dolphins, what are they, 3-3? They announced that they will be starting Tua Tagovailoa as their, from here on out. Their top pick. Ryan Fitzpatrick handled the first 6 games, played well. They were 3-3. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, 37, soon to be, I believe, 38-year-old Ryan Fitzpatrick is upset. And here's what he had to say about it.
My heart just hurt all day. It was heartbreaking for me. That's the decision and the direction that the organization is going in. And obviously, this eventually was going to happen. Just a matter of kind of when, not if. And it broke my heart yesterday. And, it's a tough thing for me to hear. This profession is interesting in that I basically got fired yesterday. And then my day of work today consisted of me in Zoom meetings, listening to the guy that fired me, and then, locked in a spaced out room, with my replacement for 4 hours today. So there aren't a whole lot of jobs that are like that. This organization and what we've been through the last year and a half, this was kind of the first place other than Buffalo where I just felt fully, committed and invested and felt like it was my team.
I got 2 words for Ryan Fitzpatrick, Rob.
What's that?
Stop it! Are you nuts? Are you nuts? You're complaining. Now, look, I get it. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to start. I have no problem with you being disappointed and hurt and everything he said inside. But publicly, dude, you need to support Tua. That's what you're there for. You're not Tom Brady. You're not Tony Romo. You're not Aaron Rodgers. You're a journeyman. You've been on 8 teams. You were brought in as a stopgap. Your team, everybody knew, you even said it was going to happen sooner or later. They're playing well. It's time for Tua to get in there. What you need to do is support him. You can say, hey, of course I'm disappointed. I mean, everybody wants to play and wants to start, but we know, Tua's got a great future. And nowadays, they get thrown in a lot earlier. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And I'm going to help him any way I can. That's what you say. Beyond that, Rob, let me just say this last thing. We know, too, Rob, you were about to fall off. Okay, you're 3-3. You're talking like you're throwing the ball like Russell Wilson. You had 2 interceptions in your last game. And if it was against anybody other than the hapless New York Jets, you would have had to pay for those interceptions. So don't act like you were lighting the league on fire because your team is 500. I mean, Fitzpatrick is fine for what he is, but this is out of line, Rob, as far as I'm concerned.
I just think the problem I have is not that he wants to play, as you said.
Right.
Everybody wants to play. You don't get to that level. You know how many guys get to be NFL starting quarterbacks? A handful. I mean, seriously. When you think about 330 million people in this country. So it's a very unique and a job and one that only really gifted people get that opportunity, okay? You could walk this earth, Chris, and not bump into a former NFL quarterback.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
It's one of those jobs. So I get all of that. But for him to say, I got fired when you're collecting a paycheck as a backup, and I have to listen to the guy who fired me. Dude, this happen. You get demoted. People change all the time. This is not unique or anything. And to put that out there and then say, I'm locked away in the guy who's taking my job away, just none of that is acceptable. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, I would have cut him after those comments. I'm not kidding you. I would have cut him because that is not the stuff that teammates say when a decision is made. Chris, when you are on a team, you sign up, you understand the coach has the final say. You don't dictate. Chris, you played on teams. There were times you should have been playing and somebody else shouldn't have been or whatever. Right. And the coach makes the decision. Am I right?
Right.
And you have to accept it. And to go out publicly and make those statements, they just don't help Tua. They sound like sour grapes, and you just said it. This is a journeyman. This is not a guy who won a Super Bowl last year, and he can't figure out what's going on. So you can get anybody else to be a backup quarterback, and if you're the Miami Dolphins, you hope that guy doesn't have to play a game for the next 10 years, so it doesn't have to be Fitzpatrick, Fitzpunkin, Fitzmagic, whatever you want to call him. I would have cut him, Chris. I'm not even kidding you.
That's
I don't want that guy. I don't want that guy around.
It wasn't a good. What he said was.
Tell me the last time you heard that.
No.
Can you tell me the last time you heard that?
I'll say this. There are times where, and you're right. I can't point to a time where I heard it.
Not for a guy who was a first-round pick who was going to beat up the franchise quarterback.
Right. Well, yeah, because I was going to say, look, are there times a comment like this would be justified? Yeah. Like, let's say the Packers lose their next game and they benched Aaron Rodgers and said, we're going with Jordan Love. Then Aaron Rodgers could say this and much more. It would be justified. If Cam Newton were benched, in New England for one of those, because Jarrett Stidham, then you can say something. This, you didn't know, Ryan? I mean, really? You didn't know? You thought you were the guy?
I don't get that at all.
You thought you were going to lead them to the play? You're right. And look, and Tua said it himself. He's, a great veteran to have on the team with me. He's personable. We're friendly. He helps me. I mean, Tua just sang his praises. And so I don't know if that was just, something you just say or if he really meant it. But I would want to know how Tua feels. Like, because maybe if he's really bringing something to the table, he's a veteran. We all know he went to Harvard. He's obviously intelligent. And I think he is an intelligent football player. He's just not, a great one, but he's intelligent football player. I do think he could add some things to Tua. But if Tua's like, yo, I got to wait a room before I cut him. But I'm not mad at you for saying that.
I just don't think that's he could be a smart guy in Harvard and all that, Chris. That's not what you say when you're giving up the job to a franchise quarterback. I'm sorry.
There's no defending it.
This is not like two backups who are on a team and there's a main guy who got hurt, Chris, and now they pick one backup journeyman over you. And you can make a case that I'm better than that guy and I should be playing, okay? That's one thing.
Trubisky didn't even say this when they benched him.
Thank you. And he was a pick of the Bears and was supposed to be their quarterback of the future. I can't remember a quarterback going in on a first-round pick.
Foles
not like that.
Didn't say this when he lost his job to Wentz after leading them to a Super Bowl. And granted, he's not as good as Wentz, but
he
still,
knows what his spot was.
I led him to a Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could have tried to play that card. And look, and don't, Rob, we talked about this. We had just started our show, right? And Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, whatever you want to call him, was lighting it up in Tampa Bay, right? And Jameis Winston's hurt. And Fitzpatrick's throwing for 400 yards every game. And it looked great, right? And we're watching the game on the air, and he throws 3 interceptions in the game. Benched at halftime, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
This is who you are. You're not 22, 25. Your track record is clear. And we're not, like you said, right? It's not about him being upset. We get it. But this was wrong. I'm shocked that he came out and said this. Absolutely.
I'm telling
shocked.
you, and that's why I said that if I was Miami, he sounds like, he might be a cancer on the team. And because that's not what you say, Chris. You could be disappointed. You're all that. Talking about I'm in the same room with the guy who fired me. I got fired. You didn't get fired.
Right, exactly.
You're
You still
paid.
get
You
your
didn't
money
get fired. He used that.
handsomely.
He got fired, Chris. Did he get
Right.
fired?
No. He's still
Come
getting
on.
paid. When you get fired, you don't get paid.
Right.
Or at least, I mean, you know, in most professions. So no, he and then to say it the way he did, like, and then I had to sit
Be
next
locked
to the
in the
guy
room.
that
Right.
took my job. Like, dude, like, again, you didn't know? And Ryan, you're 3-3. And you're not on a Pro Bowl pace.